Hello everyone! Yes, today I have Eckhart talking about something where, like, if you find yourself in that position, maybe not just once, maybe more times, that you're asking yourself, what is going on? Why am I so often stuck in this or that or whatever it is that you seem to always get the same issue coming up, or you feel like my life is so strange and I don't get it, and what is wrong with me? Maybe you're asking yourself, what is wrong with you? Because. And what if, yes, you are wrong? Long pause. What does she say? Yes, you are. Because, but only because you are asking yourself this question. To me, to my understanding, from my experience so far, there is no wrong, no right, no nothing. The only thing that you could do better for you and your life is not asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Because what does it do? If you're asking that question to you, you will get answers. You will get, you are always tired, you are always not in the mood, you are always looking for the wrong person, maybe partner, you are always doing this wrong, you are always doing this strange, people out there, they always look at you strange, whatever. You will get answers to that question. But look, you could also, if this comes up, this question, I am so sure that in your past, in your childhood, you were probably often asked that question. What's wrong with you? Maybe if you were crying, or if you were having an emotion that you could not express in another way of doing something that others would not understand. So they used to probably say then a few times, what's wrong? Or you, or whatever, huh? I mean, I just want to make you more sensitive for why does this even come to you in your mind. You have been trained, you have heard this kind of sentence. Maybe it was not exactly these words, maybe other words, but most of the time. And I remember when my little girl or boy was crying and crying and I was a little bit annoyed, or I didn't have time because I was concentrating on something else, and then all of a sudden something happened and they cried or whatever. But I remember exactly in which moments I would also take this wording of saying, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? And it's not even meant badly, but it's that sentence. And how crazy is it what we make out of it these days when we are older? We make out of the question, what's wrong with me? Because we have been told, what's wrong with you? What, or not even with you, what's wrong? What's going on? You know, I just want to sensibilize you. It's nothing more, nothing less. But okay, I don't want to talk too much in the beginning. Listen now to Eckhart's words. They are so precious, and really, I love it. Look how he's approaching this. And then later on I will add maybe some more words. Let's see, but you know, I always do. So now take your cup of tea or green coffee. Huh? Also, it's a pulver. Yeah, you can try to look it up in the internet. It's very, very good for your health as well. The green coffee, it's an instant thing. You can just, yeah, instant. It's an instant material. Yeah, okay, and then relax, lean back. Yeah, and let that wonderful talk go through you and just enjoy it.
Life is not meant to be continuously challenging, to bring up, to put obstacles in my path, so it seems quite often. And to say, well, what is wrong with life? And some people take it personally. They say, what's wrong with my life? There's something very wrong with this. Or they take it personally and say, there's a God or God who must dislike me because I encounter one obstacle after another. And so that is an underlying assumption in many people's mind, but that is delusional, because these challenges are meant to be there. They are an essential part of being here for a little while in this dimension. And if it were not for the challenges of everyday life, big and small, there would be no awakening of consciousness. So through the pressure of challenges, we are being awakened. And not only humans, every life form experiences life as precarious and fragile and often difficult. Many obstacles have to be overcome, not only for humans, but for all other life forms. Even a blade of grass has to overcome obstacle until it finally comes up out of the soil, and it's every animal. So every bird can see how alert birds are when you observe a bird. You could say the bird looks really present, and compared to many humans, not you, the bird is actually very present. When you observe a bird, you see the bird goes like very present. But it's been like that for hundreds of thousands, a million years. It has to be alert, because if this alertness is there, it has survived. This has been generated over thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. That alertness, if the bird, all the birds that were not alert, they disappeared. They got eaten up. The bird was the livelihood, the survival of each individual bird is continuously precarious. And the bird has to be alert. So the bird is being forced into that state of alertness. This is just one little example. And I know from my own life, and many of you know from your life, that you have gone through a certain amount of suffering in life. There were challenges, there were problems. You had to confront them. Unhappiness arose, and at some point, something shifted in you. At some point, there was a deepening, there was an awakening, and at some point you realized that the greater part of, to use a generic term, suffering or unhappiness in your life, which is, unhappiness is huge in the human consciousness, a huge weight in human consciousness. The greater part of unhappiness actually arises through a dysfunctional use of your mind, and not so much the circumstances of your life. And that's an interesting realization, that it's the unhappiness that you experience, even if there are big challenges, small or big. The greater part of the unhappiness you experience arises through certain kinds of narrative in your mind, certain stories that you tell yourself about life, other people, or yourself. And that's an interesting realization which you can verify at any time, tomorrow if you haven't done it yet. The moment slightest irritation arises in a situation, anger arises, discomfort arises, ask yourself, what is causing this? And the first answer will be, well, obviously this rude person causes me to be irritated and angry, or this situation that I'm stuck in, the place where I live causes me to be irritated or angry, or a certain condition that my body is experiencing is causing me to be anxious or sad or angry that something has happened to me. And so there's always, the first thing is you see the cause is there, that's the cause. And on the surface level, this is perfectly true, but that's only the surface level. And then, so tomorrow, when you encounter the first little thing that brings about perhaps a minor form of unhappiness in whatever form, to be very alert, like the bird, and say, okay, where does it come from, this situation? Let's say I'm stuck at the airport. My flight's been cancelled. This is a little situation, not a huge problem, but sometimes you might make it into a huge problem, the mind. So you're there, you feel anxious, angry, irritated. Ultimately, you're suffering. It's a small form of suffering. Well, this situation is... Now, ask yourself, if I did not add any narrative to this situation that I'm finding myself in, how would I experience this situation? Narrative meaning certain thoughts that go through your mind that refer to the situation. Now, if I did not add ultimately, since we're using an airport analogy or example, this narrative you could consider to be excess baggage that you carry around, and you carry it around in your life. You don't know it, and that becomes the burden of me. It becomes the burden of self, of a heavy sense of self, and you start discovering it in a little situation, like at the airport. You start discovering already the burden of yourself. How would I experience this situation without the excess baggage of my narrative with which I judge the situation? Okay, you have plenty of time because your flight has been cancelled, so you can experiment. Say, okay, now I'm here. Now I am letting go of the narrative. Nothing has changed in the situation. The external situation is still the same. On the board it says cancelled. Or maybe you're standing and there's a huge lineup, 100 people or more, which before this was a terrible situation. You're finding it absolutely dreadful. This airline is an awful airline. That's all gone because you're experimenting with experiencing the situation without the narrative. So you remove the narrative. What remains then is the naked, so to speak, the bare, naked isness of that moment. The isness, the simple isness of the present moment. And nothing has changed externally, but you have put down or let go of the excess baggage in your mind. And what is it that you're now experiencing? You're experiencing your body standing there. You experience your sense perceptions. You look around. You listen to whatever sounds may be there, whatever other sense perceptions may be there, and you realize that you're breathing. Oh, that's interesting. I'm breathing. And then you say, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Actually, without the narrative, I feel alive, I feel I'm breathing, and I'm even beginning to feel a little bit of aliveness pervading my body in this moment. I can feel that there's an aliveness in every cell of the body that pervades I feel alive, I'm breathing. And you don't even need to tell yourself that, you simply notice it. You notice whatever sense perception is here in the present moment. And suddenly you're experiencing the same situation as no longer something that causes you suffering, because you have removed the mental narrative.
Thank you so much, Eckhart. And it's so crazy, but even as I listen to this again right now, and that is something you have to know, repeat listening to talks, because they will bring up different layers of wisdom, of truths that you will discover for yourself. Like I just did now, understanding that I am so deeply used, and maybe it's the same for you. I'm so deeply used to having to fight, that things are always complicated, difficult. I have to suffer, I have to work through hard. And yeah, let that breeze out. Whew. If you maybe experienced or discovered that in this talk as well, or maybe now you get this impulse from me, then go and breathe it out, let it all out. All the heaviness, all this can really go now. Things can be so much more easygoing, and not easygoing meaning that things get less meaning. No, more of they get a different meaning. It more joyful, more lightful, more in the flow feeling, rather than having to, I must, I need to, it's a lot of work, it's a lot to do, it's a lot. Why, what if we just let it go right now? I don't know for whom that is right now, but it is always for someone, and someone out there. Yeah, I love that discovery today from my listening to Eckhart, and I love his example with the bird. Yeah, the stories we tell us to experience the life as we do experience it right now, and maybe for many years in the past. what if it all comes, from the way that we have been taught life is, that people tell us how life is. But what if you have traveled around the world and you have seen different ways of living? There you at least, or not at least, there you will wake up in your in the first place when you see that people can live different, in a different way. This is what I've experienced from my traveling, and that's why I was guided, I was pulled to travel. It was an inner huge impulse inside of me, as I was already a child, that I wanted to see different cultures, how they live, how they live their life. And that's what happened finally. I've seen a few countries and lived there and experienced the different way of life. Yeah, and if you do that, you get a different perspective. And if you have not had the chance so far to travel a lot, you can, and I'm sure you have also experienced that maybe if you read books, if you look at TV, the TV tells us all this as well. I haven't watched so much TV in the past 3 years, to be honest. And especially not in the past months, since I'm producing these videos for you. So, but there you can also, get connected to different ways of living, And that is so wonderful to see that it can go different, and maybe you can adapt to a little bit of a different way, or even not just a little bit, make a 180-degree turn on your feet to another direction of living your life. How great is that? And I did that during my studies. I decided a different decision. I decided to, no, I don't have to do anything, and I don't have to, the only thing I have to do is die or go to the toilet. And not more, not less. And that helped me so much going through all my experiences, being brave to going abroad, living all by myself abroad a few times. And it was really, my inner compass that pulled me further and further. And if things happened and people wanted to pull or push me in a certain direction, no, I don't have to, no matter what's going on. And yes, it's a nice compass, but I found out later as well that this compass is not the really wonderful one, because there is this content of no, I don't, of negotiation. And I'm used to have these negotiations in my life, or in the way that I create my life. Quite often in the past, I have always said, no, I don't want this in my life. No, I don't want this. I don't ever want to have this or that. But I never used that phrase of, what do I want? And this is so much more powerful, guys. It's so much more powerful using the words, I want in my life. Yes, it pulls you. The other one, the I don't want presses, closes, like, no, I don't want, you get tight. But with what, oh, I want, you open up, your breast opens up, and your whole body language changes. Watch yourself. Do that. Do it as an exercise for you right now. Say a sentence: I don't want to ever have the feeling of not being good enough, or not having done all I wanted. I don't want to have this feeling. How does it feel when you say that? And then tell yourself, okay, I want to feel that I have done everything I wanted. It opens up, it opens, even your mind starts already thinking about ways that you can go to fulfill that order for your life that you just placed. It's like you're placing orders, and manifestation. You do all the time manifestation. It's not something that you can turn on or off. It's something you're doing all the time. It's just a wording for creation, for being. For being what is. This is manifestation. This word has been used so strangely by saying, oh, you can manifest this or that. No. Well, yes, of course you can, but you do. You don't have to can. You do it. You are doing it right now. By being, you manifest your being here and your surrounding. So, yeah. Really try to watch yourself. Maybe the next weeks, the next days, what you think, what your thoughts are, if they are often with I don't want, or I must, or I have to, or I should not, or always these negotiations. Please try to exercise the next days to change these sentences into what you want. And if you have a problem with that, then add the part to the sentence why you want that. I want to go to work because I love to have a salary that I can use to pay my bills. No, maybe not that. To be able to buy me some good food, and then picture in your mind what kind of food. And if it's coming up, I don't even like to buy food, then look at how you're buying your food. If you're going through the rows of the supermarket, what do you buy? And then think of what would you more appreciate and give more value and more value, more appreciation if you would buy this or that. Maybe, for example, you would rather like to buy some better quality of meat or of whatever, fruits, vegetables, then go and buy the better quality but less. You will not die of not having enough to eat. You won't. No. Actually, what you will die of, and you will die, anyone will die, but you will die in joy and happiness and proudness about yourself, that you value yourself. If you buy food that you value, then you value yourself because you give it to you. It's a gift that you're giving to you. Yeah. And that's where it starts already. Okay, I don't want to make this talk too long. So I stop here with my advices or ideas. I mean, it's not advices, it's ideas, impressions, impulses that are coming through me when I listen to these wonderful talks from Eckhart and also all the others. Please, I want to really encourage you, listen to the talks where I have combined Eckhart with Abraham Hicks and with Neil Donald Walsh. They are so wonderful addings. Really, really, really. Look them up. Okay, in my channel. Of course. Well, and now I really want to remind you of who you are. Don't you ever forget that. Yes, you are the lottery win. The one and only and the biggest lottery win in your life and in the life of all others around you. You are. You don't have to do anything to be. No, you are. You are right now. Yeah, and I want to add also your gift. Yes, a free session of a coaching session. A free gift of a coaching session with me. Oh my words. For you, huh? Yeah, and be excited and curious what that means. You don't know, but yeah, just say, oh yeah, I want to know what that is and what it is like. Maybe you don't have any issue or something right now, but you are just curious on how does something like that it feels like. I want to just feel it and connect with that, yeah, with that experience. I want to make that experience of a free coaching session with Juliane. Then look me up in Instagram and Facebook, Juliane Apper, JA Coaching, and you will find me. And then write me a message and we can make an appointment for a video call. And then it can start. Yes. So I really look forward to seeing you soon, guys. Have a wonderful day, minute, second, week, month, year, life. Wonderful, full of wonders. I love this word. Yes. Become aware that it is all full of wonders.